Hey, what up and welcome to another episode of Creased. This time we're doing the 2022 most overrated sneakers. They're not bad, but the hype just doesn't seem necessary, in my opinion. Let's get into it. At number 15, it is the Saucony fried chickens. I'm hearing all types of hype from people that I know, from people wherever, that these should be in the conversation for the best sneaker of 2022. For me, I understand that there's a lot of like good materials on it, everything like this, but at the end of the day, it is a shoe that looks like fried chicken. What the fuck are you gonna wear with that? Like, honestly, like, brown and yellow, yeah, look. For me, I don't need hype, I don't need story, I just need a good shoe, right? In my best sneakers of 2022 list, there's multiple GRs in there. The fact that people are putting this in their list, maybe that's why it's got on there, but for me, I just feel like it's super overrated. There's a lot better Sauconys available than this. 100%. At number 14, it is the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Reverse Mocha. Now, not a bad looking shoe at all. I believe the original one's probably better, a lot better than this. Probably even the Fragment one. But for me, I put it in the overrated category because I feel like collectively we're all over that. And that was made abundantly clear when they, leaked a couple of images of stuff coming out. There was like an olive one, an all black one. They were like, dude, you're beating a dead horse, right? When the hype beasts aren't even really rocking with you anymore, all you got left is the resellers hoping they can scrounge some money off people. But, yeah, for me, it just, you need a new idea, dude. Like, I said it last year. I went back through all my lists last year and, just to see where we're at in comparison from last year to this year in terms of best picks, worst picks, what came out and what have you, right? And one of the things I said was, in 2023, do something better than a backward swoosh. But we're just rinse and repeating with this silhouette. They have said once the black one comes out, that's it. But don't count on it, bro. Like, they still sell out. This was, I believe, the most botted shoe ever. Like 20 million people went in for this shoe. I'd almost guarantee every single one of them wanted to resell it, right? Just where we're at in this world. At number 13, I've got the orange Lobster. Controversial one, but for me, I feel like the only reason people are talking about this is the previous history of other pairs, right? The red Lobster started it all. Then you got blue, you got green, you got purple, I think there's a white one, a yellow one, like, now we're at orange, right? There'll probably be a pink one next year, or in a couple of years' time. The mythic of the Lobster range by concepts, right, it always just seems so unattainable until they're just continually dropping it. Kind of like what they did with the Panda Air Max One, they just kept going, like, obviously this is over a longer period of time, but for me, if this was just an orange dunk, an orange SB dunk, nobody gives a shit. And from what I'm told, the materials are great, it's a great shoe, it probably is. But I just think it's a little bit overrated. It's not super overrated, but it's definitely clinging to the hype of the previous models. For me, I feel like the best one is the blue Lobster, just because I like blue, right? The green's alright, I just don't like that shade of green. But, overrated. Number 12 is the Jound X Asics Gel Keanu. To me, there's nothing really that different to this and any Asics Gel Keanu that come out in that model. Because, yes, maybe they use the collabs to introduce these older silhouettes back into it, but I worked in retail when these older silhouettes were around. So for me, it just looks like we're putting out old shoes rather than focusing on the newer models, because to me, the newer models of the Nimbus and the Keanu haven't been good in a long while. But look, I don't see too much difference between this and this being a hype and collab, and I can say that about every Jound pair, to be honest. And if you take that Jound away, I think majority of the collabs, whether it be Asics or New Balance, they're just normal shoes, right? There's no real significant touch on it, like say a Travis Scott or a Concept Lobster, even though they're overrated as well. But you can definitely see a difference, right? It's a point of difference. For this, you could honestly put in this slot any Jound collab. Now, I know people are going to come for me in the comments, but I don't care. At number 11, this came very close to being put in the worst sneakers of the year list. I thought I did put it in there, but obviously I took it out. It is the Salehi Bembury Croc. Now, it's got the pattern on it, is his fingerprint and all this type of stuff. Cool. Guess what? Your fingerprints are in the system, just like anyone who wears a pair of TNs. But at the end of the day, these are still a Croc. I have said this a million times, but you cannot pay me to wear a pair of Crocs. You could give me a lifetime supply for free. I wouldn't have to worry about footwear for the rest of my life. They even brought out a Wu-Tang collab. I'm never wearing Crocs. And the fact that these are reselling for crazy just speaks to the fucking idiocy of people. Like, I literally feel like we're in the movie Idiocracy. I do. I mentioned that when we did the episode about stop making Crocs a thing, but here we are. Oh yeah, but the black colorway. No, it's a Croc. Who cares? You're never going to see someone wearing these. Like, I've never seen someone wearing these, whether I be here in Newcastle, when I was in Melbourne, Sydney, wherever. All it is people think they can make money from it. That's what it is. The next person buys it and hopes they go up. It's a never-ending cycle. It's just overrated as fuck. Number 10, it is the Air Jordan 1 golf shoe. Now, you remember there was a time super early in the year where they brought out, I think it was a Shadow, they brought out a Chicago, maybe even a UNC colorway. But it's an Air Jordan 1 low, but with the golf tread. It's a lot heavier. They kind of look similar on feet, but if you look at them close in hand, you're going to notice. Plus it says golf on the toe. But resellers went nuts on these. They're like, yeah, and they started, like, I've seen them anywhere right up to $800. That hype went nuts as quick as they came and went. I said at the time that, you know, sneakerheads won't wear these and golfers won't pay that for resale. So yeah, super overrated. I'm glad it came and went. I honestly feel like if I didn't mention it here, people would have forgot about it. So they didn't belong in the worst list, but they needed to be, at this moment in time, needed to be recognized, right? At number 9, it is the Nike Air Force One X Off-White Brooklyn colorway. Said it about the Canary Yellows, said it about the MCAs, the MoMAs, whatever it is, right? These command thousands of dollars and they are just not it. Like, maybe they are for you. For me, I just don't think there's too much difference between that and a normal Air Force One to justify the resale value on it, right? For the most part, anything I can't justify the resale value on it based on what Nike does in terms of their quality control. So, super overrated. People are talking for this for sneaker of the year, like up there in terms of sneaker of the year. So, I know it's going to be a controversial pick, but I just feel super overrated. There's a lot better off-white shoes than this. They've just gone back, done something they've already done a different colorway, bam. Sneaker of the year. No, not on my watch. At number 8, it is the Travis Scott Air Max One. Now last year I put this in the worst sneakers of the year category, but it kind of came out last year at the festival. Then Travis had a hiatus because of bad PR, then they brought him back out. So it kind of released in both. Now, There was a lot worse shoes this year, so I couldn't really put it in that. It has been around long enough to where it's normalized, but at the same time, people are talking about it for sneaker of the year. I still think they look like you got the Sheriff Woody joints, the brown and yellow ones, and then you got the piss stain fucking ones. You know, it's just, what are we doing here? I feel like the idea with the different strap and the tooling and everything like that, it looks great. I just don't like the colors. If the colors were anything else, I feel like it works. But obviously Travis has got this allocation of brown, and that's what he's doing, and piss stain yellow for some reason. But super overrated. Number 7, it is the military black 4s. I actually own them. Super clean colorway, black and white, neutral. Nothing wrong with the actual shoe. It's more the hype around this, and probably the Jordan 4 as a whole this year. So I think people want like $600 for this, and if I'm being honest, it's not worth that. I saw the quality control on mine. I've seen quality controls on others. There's plenty of videos about like the dye coming through on the white cage. It's not worth $600 if you're paying that for this. I don't know what you're doing. There's much better shoes that you can cop still for retail. Grab a pair of Fire Red 3s. Like honestly, you could still be able to get them for retail. Much better shoe than this. At number 6, it is the Air Max One Tinker Hatfield NFT debacle. Nike was pretty late to the party in terms of crypto, NFTs and all this type of thing, but when they went in, they went in. And they did this limited edition shoe that you can only spend Bitcoin on to be able to get, and it was pretty hard to obtain, and people were basically like, you know, crypto bros that had this money just created out of nowhere. They're paying a few $1,000s for this shoe, so they don't care. But for me, it was a lime green shoe, Air Max One, with the Oregon, you know, tooling and bits and pieces all over. It's a really good looking shoe, but the fact that it was never like ever released to anyone else, it was just this crypto thing, it just, I don't know, it killed off the hype for me. It's super overrated. $3,000 for an Air Max One, let's be honest, it ain't it. And if you think about it right now, with how crypto and Bitcoin and everything has crashed, Nike probably got the short end of the stick on that one. At number 5, it is the entire Gucci Adidas collab. Don't get me wrong, the bucket hat I probably would have bought, but I remember, you know, the pop-up and everything was a cool little vibe when I saw it in Pitt Street Mall, but when I'm looking at the pair of gazelles, it's still a gazelle. Like, it's just a very basic shoe, but now it's brown with the gold G's on it. Like, I'm not paying $1,000 for that shoe. It's $1,000 or $600, regardless. If they've made that for cents on the dollar, if people are paying for it, and people did, you got gullible written on your hand. I do know someone, I know a few people that bought stuff from that collab, so like it is what it is, but for me it's super overrated. I don't know how they keep making this list, but they keep bringing them out. Like, if you haven't got a pair by now, you probably don't want them, like me. But it is the Nike Dunk Panda. This is every little kid's favorite shoe on TikTok. Probably your girlfriend wants them for Christmas. They keep dropping a release every month because they are the very essence of a GR. Yeah, look, at one point they were $400 or $500 a pair. Now they're around about $250 because they just keep coming out in terms of the resale market. But yeah, look, I'm just completely over them. I like plain black and white shoes because it's just a very neutral colorway, easy to wear, everything like that, but I hate that. And if I really wanted them, I just go to Nike by You and make them on there and get a better quality version, which I already did with a gum rubber sole. But anyway, at number 3, this is going to be another controversial pick, but it is the Concepts Air Max One Mellow, harsh, and whatever, right? I had these in hand, could have got them on Air Max Day, but again, they got the fucking excess strings and everything, and I just, they came out so long ago that at the time people were saying early contender for sneaker of the year, but obviously a lot of shoes came and went since then. But people still have been mentioning them in this talk for sneaker of the year. For me, I think they're horrible, right? The denim or whatever, like I've seen people bleach them and make them look like something cool after doing that. That's about as close as they've come to me liking them. The camo, miscoloured, everything like that. You know what it reminds me of? The scene in Ali G where everyone rocks up in their camo, but it's like multicolored, and it's like, good thing you guys come in your camos. Like, I tried to do the accent, I couldn't do it, but yeah, it just, I love the Air Max One. I was hoping for a big year for it, but I feel like the stuff I'm going to enjoy is next year. So, super overrated, number 3 on the list. Number 2 on the list. This is going to be a super surprise to everyone, but it is the Jordan 1 Lost and Found. Whether it be the mold issues, the backdooring, the resellers, the cancelled orders, the stolen pairs, whatever it may be. They had a great shoe. They had all this stuff leading up to it where they were going to take, bot security and everything serious, but at the end of the day it was all just talk, and they just wanted to charge people $15 for refunding stuff that they couldn't sell. So they had an opportunity. They could have done something really special with this shoe. Don't get me wrong, the shoe is incredible. Still a Jordan 1 Chicago. The story, the mix, like everything on that, fantastic. But I'm seeing them resell anywhere from $700 to $900. Is the shoe worth that money? Not on your damn life. Not on your damn life. It is what it is. Number 2 on the list. Number 1 on the list for most overrated. Now, this could have been swapped, but the feeling with this, right, is I feel the only attention this shoe got was based around that Memphis heist, where, there was all these pairs stolen, the place was ransacked, everything like this. Pairs spread everywhere, people selling them on Facebook Marketplace, all this, and there was this massive investigation, and StockX came in, and they were like, nah, we're not going to let them sell the shoes because they're already being sued by Nike, and they wanted to try and make amends. But it is the Jordan 11 Cherry Red. For me, I think this shoe is horrible. I only like a select few Jordan 11s, but for me, this one, the hype was, it seemed like it was only really created through that and all these early pairs, and then StockX banned it and all this. Like, without that false narrative created by this heist and all these pairs going on Facebook Marketplace, for me, the hype around this only really happened after the heist. Like, once so many pairs ended up on Marketplace and everything like this, there'd be all these photos, my plug really came through, and they got full size runs, and it was so wild that people were stealing them, didn't even really know what the market would be too. You were selling them for like $100, $200, like it was just such a crazy time. And without any of that, there'd be no hype for this shoe. Like, it would just be a Jordan 11 shoe in a red and white. And I'm going to be really honest, I'm thinking about it, but the only red and white shoe that I ever really want is the anniversary red Air Max One. Like, I think this shoe is really bland. There's going to be as many pairs as, say, there would be for the Breads or the Cool Greys or even the Jubilees, but like, out of all 4 of those shoes, this is by far the worst colorway. So they've come out, I want to say pairs are already getting returned. There was an 8.5 at my local today. You're going to see these on shelves for months longer than the Cool Grey 11s, because the Cool Grey 11s are actually a cool colorway, right? No pun intended, but they're probably one of the best colorways for the 11. It just so happens that the 11s ain't it, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but yeah, the the only real hype around this was, you know, so many early pairs circulating, and then pairs came over here and all this, and you know, people wanted to flex because they were out and about like that, so they could, because there was a lot more pairs out in the wild. But super overrated. Now, it could have been 1 and 2, could have been wherever. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I just feel the Cherry 11 super overrated. You're gonna see them everywhere in stores for a long time. Not a bad thing, because if you want them, you're gonna be able to get them. But for me, this is the most overrated pairs for 2022. Now, come see me in the comments. Let me know where I was wrong, what I missed out on, whatever. Let's work this out. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all that cliche YouTube shit, and we will be back with another list. Peace. Right, again, these are my opinions. If you want to make your own list, make your own little videos, go ahead. Right, I'll let you. Not that I have any say in it. If you get yourself a camera, even a phone, YouTube account's free, do it. But this is my list, these are my opinions, and let's get into it.